Something really bad happens to your brain when you watch short form content. And no, I'm not just talking about the fact that watching short 5 to 10-second videos is going to absolutely mess up your brain and ruin your ability to focus on literally anything. I'm not even talking about the cliches that people say. We've all heard it before. Human beings have a shorter attention span than a goldfish. I'm talking about something way more sinister. And when I actually discovered this, I stopped consuming short form content in its entirety. And I'm 100% certain that what I'm about to tell you is probably going to scare you to your core. And I hope that it does that so that you'll stop too. And again, I can dumb this down into a very simple 3-step, what they call syllogism, right? The first thing is that short form content basically elicits emotion. When you're scrolling through these videos, let's say that, you see the Bugatti and then you're like, oh my God, I feel a little jealous. Then you scroll down and then you see, a kid dying or something like that. Now you feel emotional. And then you scroll down again and now you see something extremely funny. You're not scrolling through videos. You're basically scrolling through a whole bunch of emotions. And what short form content, especially viral content, is designed to do is it's designed to elicit emotion. The thing is, when we're talking about stuff like depression, anxiety, even stuff like ADHD, right? All of this stuff has become rampant in the previous few years, especially in this current decade. The amount of diagnoses for ADHD has gone through the roof. Same thing with anxiety and depression. And the thing is, for 99% of people, and I truly 100% believe this, it's not even a problem of your natural neurochemistry. The thing is, when you're watching viral content, irregardless of your neurochemistry, it's basically designed to get you hooked and to elicit some sort of emotion. And so you're basically running through this roller coaster of emotions. And what this causes is emotional dysregulation. So no wonder we're in a mental health crisis. Everybody thinks they have depression, anxiety, ADHD. The reality is people are so addicted to feeling emotion so quickly, they're just emotionally dysregulated. There had been so many times back when I used to scroll through short form content where I literally felt physically ill and addicted after I scrolled on my phone for long periods of time. To me, it literally felt like I was losing myself. It's like you lose your entire personality. Like you have basically nothing to talk about anymore. No, hey, how are you? What have you done today? It's basically just, again, you're essentially just a robot that's responding to short pieces of content that are just making you feel this roller coaster of emotions up and down. And the thing is, it's literally like, no, I don't, you guys are going to have to bear with my artistic abilities here. It's literally like an emotional slot machine. That does not look like a slot machine, where you're basically just pressing the button again and again and again, getting rewarded with jealousy, anxiety, laughter, all of these emotions again and again and again on repeat. And the thing is with emotion, if you look at the Latin root of emotion, again, it's emotion. It's meant to elicit some sort of motion or movement. It's meant to motivate you to do something. But when you feel all these emotions and you take absolutely no action, what happens is you're essentially conditioning yourself to do nothing at all, no matter what emotion you feel. And that's why even if you feel motivated, or you need to feel so damn motivated to get anything done, you don't get anything done because your threshold for emotion as a result of emotion has literally reached its hypothetical exponential pinnacle. So it's kind of like a flywheel. It just leads to more emotion, more scrolling, so on and so forth. And then you essentially become motionless. And it's the same exact thing with porn. If you think about what used to happen back in the day, a man or even a woman had to literally go out of their way, find a mate, so on and so forth. They literally, like if you go way back in the day, if you're a Darwinian or whatever, if you look at it evolutionarily, men literally had to compete for women, right? Especially the most attractive women. But now you essentially have access to all of these women on demand. You can just search up, whatever the hell you want to search up, and boom, you're back to that emotional slot machine. And so you have to take no motion to elicit the emotion. You basically have to do nothing to get the emotion, which is probably the most rewarding thing that you can do. Ejaculation, excuse me for being explicit. That's literally one of the heights of dopamine that you can receive. The reason why it is that way is so that you can essentially go out and mate, so that you're motivated. And that's why if you look at all the first world countries, what happens to the birth rates? They're in constant decline. And a big reason for that is, again, this relationship between emotion and motion has basically become divided. We've created a dichotomy. Now you can feel emotion at whim. And that brings me, again, to the second part of this syllogism, which is essentially a fancy word for, an argument. Emotion is meant to elicit motion. It's basically meant to create some sort of change or some sort of action. And short form content, stuff like porn or whatever the hell it is that really creates this spike of dopamine, it basically kind of dysregulates the entire relationship between emotion and motion. And when this happens, the neurochemistry of your brain becomes so fucked, essentially. So this flywheel of short form content, it's not just draining away all your time. It's literally like wrecking your mental state. It's leaving you more sensitive, scattered, and it's basically making you emotionally unstable. It's getting you depressed. It's giving you the anxiety. It's basically allowing you to label yourself with ADHD when the reality is no human being, no brain at any time in human history is meant to experience this level of dysregulation, period. Like it doesn't matter what the conditions are. It doesn't matter what your natural neurochemistry is. Nobody should be exposed to something like this ever, period. The thing is, when you have stuff that actually has deadlines, sure, you can scroll on your phone, you can do whatever the hell you want, and then, like you can stack all your work right before, the deadline actually happens. But the thing is, with stuff that doesn't have deadlines, like, like life doesn't have a deadline. Your career, your future, you don't have a deadline. It's basically an endless, time frame that you have to operate on, and there's no hard deadline that you can basically use as a forcing trigger to think, oh shoot, I need to wake up, I need to sit down and get this work done. You basically just never do it, and then at one point in your life you look back and you realize that you wasted it all away. And this realization is what happened to me, and hopefully it happens to you as well. And the earlier on it happens, the better. But it's basically like stuff like this that doesn't have a deadline is actually the most dangerous thing to play with, because it results in you being unfulfilled. Now, all of this is all well and fair. It's all passionate talk. How do you actually get rid of this addiction? How do you fix your neurochemistry? And the thing that I'll tell you is that, number one, long form pieces of content are better. They're still, the way they're edited today, again, like if you look at Hollywood, they literally have a principle where they should have a cut every 2 seconds, something like that. And again, they've gone lower and lower as time has went on. People like Mr. Beast on YouTube, they essentially like create long form content as a string of multiple short form content pieces. So again, long form is better, but you don't want to watch highly stimulating long form videos. And I truly fundamentally believe this. I think that every single platform that has short form content should have a mandatory turn off button so that you can essentially get rid of it on demand. The thing is, 99% of people, or 99% of these platforms don't have it because, again, they run off of advertising dollars. The more advertisers that come on the platform and actually, spend money with them, the more money they make. So again, they are incentivized to keep you on as long as possible. And that's why, Instagram folded to short form content, YouTube folded to short form content. It's because they can't compete with stuff like TikTok that is, again, emotionally dysregulating people at such a fast pace. They have to do the same thing if they want to compete. But the thing is, you can basically find extensions. And if you can't find an extension, I genuinely believe that you should just quit cold turkey. Now, there's extensions on your MacBook, on your browser, so on and so forth, that you can use to block shorts off of YouTube, off of Instagram. You can block Reels, so on and so forth. On the phone, there is an app that really helped me, and I would say this is the one thing that has really helped me get over, short form especially, is ClearSpace, where essentially it limits you, it makes you breathe in and breathe out before you actually enter an app, and it kicks you out after a certain amount of time. Like, this is probably, these 2 steps are probably the only thing that you need to do, with the exception of maybe the 3rd step, which is just looking for natural, non-artificial sources of dopamine, just natural ways to elicit emotion of any kind. This will probably bring you back the life that you need to have, the life that you lost as a result of the short form content. But like, you have people nowadays, they're just on a whim having panic attacks. But basically, the index that they use in psychology today literally labels most people on the spectrum of ADHD or ADD or autism or anxiety or depression. Everybody is having this problem. And the thing is, the natural state of the human brain is not in any way, shape, or form made to do this. Like, this can't be a natural imbalance in your neurotransmitters or anything. It's not natural at all. Your brain is basically being absolutely fucked by short form content. The thing is, if you keep scrolling on short form content, frankly, you're just an idiot. Like, I mean, I'm going to judge you here, but like, you're essentially wasting away your life, fucking up your brain in the process. And one day you're going to look back at your life and you're going to realize that the thing that didn't have a deadline, the stuff that you essentially had to do to live a fulfilled life, you never did. And I just pray that before that realization dawns on you, you have a wake-up call. And if I can be the one to deliver it, then so be it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. I have a whole bunch of other content that talks about how you can regulate stuff like this. Actually, this is what my entire company is about. So again, it really means the world to me if you guys can actually support the content, whether it's by liking, subscribing, leaving comments, so on and so forth. I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.